Welcome back to 2 Minute Tuesdays. We're here with co-founder Jack Martin today, and today we're going to talk about passing on deals. So, Jack, what are some of the reasons why we pass on so many deals? We looked at a bunch last year, and we ended up buying one. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts on why we're passing on deals.
Yeah, the top reasons, Randy, price doesn't match fundamentals. The seller's price expectation is out of line with reality. And we look at execution risk. Even if you can make the numbers work, if there's too much execution risk, we prefer to wait for a better opportunity. And then, of course, always quality is an issue for us. So we have minimum quality standards, and if they don't meet that, we're going to pass.
The first thing you mentioned was this kind of imbalance, I would say, between what sellers are wanting to sell for and what we're willing to buy for. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
I think that the important thing is you don't want to stress a deal. You don't want to force a square peg into a round hole. So if our IRR expectation on a really high quality deal is mid-teens, for example, we don't want to have every single thing go perfect in order for it to work. I'd like there to be some room. So unrealistic rent growth, unrealistic infill, a lot of those projections that are required in order to make the price work. Those are some examples.
Can you talk a little bit about the execution risk? We will walk away from deals where there's too much execution risk. Curious what that means.
Let's say you're purchasing a park that has a lot of vacant lots, or let's say a high degree of vacant homes. That's usually an indication of there's a lot of execution that's required there. And it has to go well in order for us to hit our performance or our projections. If you have a heavy RV component, there's execution risk there because there's transient nature of occupancy. If there's a tremendous amount of capex, particularly if it's infrastructure, underground infrastructure, you could budget for it, but there's so much risk that you can't unearth until literally you get down into the earth. So those are some examples of that.
Well, thanks for walking through that, Jack. We will come back with many more episodes here where we dig into these and many other issues. So thanks so much for being here today, and join us again next Tuesday for another 2 Minute Tuesday.